Welcome back to Google's most asked questions about business, money, selling, and mindset. The problem with my business is I'm doing everything myself. Amazing. Okay, yeah, that is a problem. But again, just perspective on this. In the beginning, that is right, because in order to get somebody else to do it, you've got to make enough money, enough margin to pay yourself, pay your business, and then pay another human being. Massive tip for you here. Write a structure chart. Nobody does it. Do the fantasy structure chart that says in 12 months time, in 2 years time, this is who I'm going to be hiring. Write the role profile, write the objectives. There's something about that makes it real. And in the meantime, use people per hour, use onlinejobs.ph, use freelancers, get VAs. There are so many people who want to do the work that you have in abundance. I think there's lots you can do to outsource. And then of course, guys, come on, technology like Metrical for scheduling posts, ChatGPT for ideas and repurposing. There's definitely some things you can stop doing, but until the moment you can afford to pay someone else to do it, do the work. Are we getting this theme? Do the freaking work. The problem with my business is I have too many ideas. I reckon that this might be controversial, but a lot of the people I work with have neurodiversity, and one of the elements of that neurodiversity is creativity. For me, I'm not like, oh, shock horror, neurodiversity equals entrepreneur. I'm like, oh, you could get your needs met, feel happy in a standard 9 to 5 day in, day out. So you've built something that allows endless creativity, endless freedom. Now, that's a gift and it's a curse. The curse is you can't have all of these ideas and hope to be successful. There's a straight line through to the result that you want. You've got to pick a vision, you've got to plot the projects, and you've got to deliver on the projects. You've got to repeat the same course over and over until you can sell it. You've got to use the same format for your videos until you can make it work. The variation comes in how you're creative in that project, but that's the project. You do the next project, you can be creative with the project, but every time you start again with a new business idea, you literally go back to basics and you start again. Stop starting again, finish the project you're on to skill. Okay. The problem with my business is I'm afraid of charging my worth. Okay. So again, I feel like I just tell the truth on things like this. I have people say to me, Lisa, I want to put my prices up, but I can't get people to pay for that. And I'm like, so don't put your price up. You need to go and fill your diary at the price that you've got. And when you're full at that price, you'll have confidence, you'll have experience, you'll have wisdom, you have testimonials, then you put your price up. So there's an idea of what you want to charge, but I'm going to be controversial and say, are you genuinely worth that amount? If you're genuinely worth that amount, then you need to go to therapy to find out what the story is that's holding you back, or you need to work with a coach, or you need to read books about money mindset, self-worth, valuing yourself. And don't just read them, don't just go to these therapists, do the work to dissolve the belief. But if it's a case of actually it's a competence question or it's a marketing question, then that's something very different. The problem with my business is I keep burning out. Do you know why people burn out? People burn out because they're working all of the hours an entrepreneur has to work, and that is just reality. I know that's controversial, but it is. They burn out because the reward doesn't match the work. So when you are living at the very edge of your ability, day in, day out for a year, 2 years, it's too much. If you keep burning out, you have got to slow down a little bit, extend your timelines, and you've got to support yourself. There's nothing wrong, I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with getting a job whilst you learn how to build your business. There is nothing wrong with selling a bucket and spade service, something that you can do, that you're really good at, that isn't your big passion project, whilst you figure this out. You will burn out when you're at the edge of your ability and you're not being rewarded for it, and you can't take the time to recalibrate, to remind yourself of what it's worth. So either extend those timelines or get a job, get paid, and do this on the side. The problem with my business is my products aren't selling. No, that is the problem with everyone's business. Okay. The word I want to flash up on the screen in massive, big, disgusting, like permission to use gross yellow neon letters, Chris, is market them. Market them, market them. You don't know what marketing is. If your products aren't selling, you don't know what marketing is. What you have to do is think, who is the customer? Who's going to give me money for this? And you can't say things like, my customers don't have any money, because they're not customers. Oh, my customers are really burnt out. Well, they're not going to work with you. Pick a customer who's going to work with you and then ask, what is the most special thing about this? What are they really buying? When someone comes to me for business coaching, they're not coming to me for business coaching. They're coming for confidence, for direction, to have a running mate, to see the subconscious belief, to be held accountable. Knowing that, I market that. And then the third aspect is, if you say you're networking and that's your strategy, you should be networking twice a week at least, going for coffee with people, posting stories about it. If you say Instagram is your strategy, your marketing strategy, you've got to think, what questions have those buyers got? And you've got to make content that answers their questions. Doesn't need to go viral, doesn't need thousands of hits. Then you really focus on putting that content, those answers into the videos, into the text. You're doing trial reels, you're turning up in stories. I could quite comfortably say, whatever you're doing, find a way to times it by 10 and you will start making sales. All right, last one on this board. The problem with my business is I'm scared of failure. Are you? Are you really? You're scared you're going to fail. What's going to happen if you fail? What's going to happen? I've failed loads. When you fail, you just dust yourself back off, you try again. The people who change the world are not the people who follow someone else's blueprint. The people who change the world are the people who have a vision and they take a risk and they say, I think that if I do this, my best guess, my best hypothesis is if I take this product to this customer, in this way I'll make money. It's only a hypothesis. Business is only ever a guess. So even if you do fail, I think, great, now I've got the feedback that I need. What I would say is, don't take such a big risk, don't take such a big leap that you fail so catastrophically that you take yourself out of the game. Like when I got myself in 100 grand's worth of debt, that was really bad. That took me years and years to recover. If I'd have known better, I wouldn't have done it. And I think that's the gift of wisdom, of hindsight. I wouldn't take any of that away from myself because it's what makes me a good coach and a good leader for people now. Okay, first question. What does Lisa Bean teach on her courses? Vegan recipes for a healthier diet. Next question. I'm just kidding. I teach sales, marketing, business, and the truth of what it takes to make actual money. Who doesn't want to learn that? Off camera, Chris said, keep this concise, not a skill I have. Next one. Okay, next one. What does Lisa Bean think about imposter syndrome? What a great question. I don't know what that means, and this is something I really want to research. I never use the term imposter syndrome. The term I use is alien. The truth is that when you do something you've never done before, you're going to feel like an alien. And the phrase that I always remember when I'm doing something difficult, I don't feel like an imposter. I just say to myself, you're just rehearsing being a different version of yourself. So for me, it's not imposter syndrome, it's rehearsal of being a new person. To get a new result, you have to be a new person. If you can sit in the discomfort, you'll get a result. If you can't, you'll go back. Next question, let's see. What does Lisa Bean recommend for business books? Have you read First Shit Version? It's a very good book on what it takes to uncover your purpose, change your life, and make a living doing what you love. Is that acceptable? Okay, let's have a look. What does Lisa Bean do in her spare time? In my spare time, I teach on my courses, I overcome imposter syndrome, and I write business books. I also go to the gym once a week and call that a commitment. And I used to cook and bake, but I'm too busy. Things are too good. I walk the dog, feed the dog. That's 90% of my time. And yeah, the rest of it, I just do this. Okay, what does Lisa Bean think stops people achieving their goals? Two things. One, you don't know what it takes. People have lied to you and you've believed them that this is going to be easy. It isn't. It's horrible. So if it feels like it's taken longer than it should or it's more difficult than it should, you're definitely on the right track. That's the first thing. And the second thing is people can't handle the discomfort of the unknown. So to change your life and get a better result in business, you've got to think a thought you've never had. You'll hold and practice habits you've never been able to maintain, and you'll definitely feel emotions you're not used to feeling. If you can sit in them and stick that landing, you'll change your life. If you can't, you'll go back, but it's not fatal. You just get up and try again the next day. Okay, what does Lisa Bean think the biggest opportunity in business is today? Now, that's a good one. The obvious answer everyone's going to say is AI, and I don't even think that's the biggest opportunity. I think the biggest opportunity is do the work other people won't do. Every time me and Chris do something, I say to him, I like this because it's hard, and if it's hard, very few people are going to do it. If you can do the hard thing that no one else can do, whether it is learn AI, film videos, do the trial reels, build a YouTube account, you'll make it. The biggest opportunity is hard work. No one wants to do it. Chris, that was amazing, thank you. I feel like we've just got the list of our next 10 YouTube videos, so if you haven't already, hit subscribe, feel free to join the mailing list, and we're going to be answering these questions in depth in the coming weeks and months. Over and out.